Professor Bola Akinterinwa, Professor of International Relations, Achievers University Award. It joins me to discuss this latest pardon case with Benjamin Netanyahu. It's good to have you join us at this time. Do you think that Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to have it, both ways, seeking a presidential pardon for corruption charges while still insisting that he has never committed any wrongdoing?
You see, it's a contradiction. You either maintain a clear position that you are not guilty, and on that basis, pursue your case logically, get it to the logical end. Court of first instance, second instance, appeal, Supreme Court. Let the case be established. But in this particular case, on the one hand, you are saying you are not guilty, and you are asking for pardon. Pardon for what? When you talk about pardon, you are certainly admitting stricto sensu that you have done something wrong. But you cannot be saying that they should pardon you when you are also saying you have not done anything wrong. In this case, this type of contradiction is at best meaningless. And in this particular case, I do not think that the good people of Israel to take this very kindly. It doesn't speak well. You are either hot or cold. That's what the Bible itself says. Let us know if you are an offender. If you admit that you have committed infractions, then you can now come for pardon. It will be straightforward. And
some have said that this new corruption case is sort of a way to hold him accountable for some of the accusations at the international level. Like other persons have mentioned, it's a contradiction. But given the political pressures and legal considerations in this case, especially for the president, what are the realistic chances that President Isaac will actually grant him a pardon in this corruption case?
There's nothing to suggest what his likely attitudinal disposition will be. The issue is that everybody will want to avoid laying precedents. All right. In this case, if it had been established that he was actually very corrupt, if the case is there, why should anybody want to pardon him? Pardoning him simply means you are condoning it. And that should not be the case. But because of the situational reality of Israel in war against the Palestinians, war against the Hamas, you see, he may want to help his image so that the other accusations of genocide, crimes against humanity, in which Benjamin Netanyahu has been involved, will not become another burden for him. So he may want to lessen the burden. He may also want to consider the fact that at the end of the day, it is better to be united at the domestic level to be able to respond to global threats, threats threatening the security, peace, and stability of Israel. Israel is permanently in a war of survival. And now, to now want to crucify him by trying him again, that may demoralize him. And even though the people of Israel are quite divided on the prosecution of the war, but to a great extent, Netanyahu is believed to be at the forefront of the defense of national sovereignty, national interest. So I think more than 50%, the president may give him a pardon, not necessarily because he does not know that.
I agree with you. Some have said that Netanyahu has been in front of, some of the issues that have been facing Israel in the past few years, I would say, and even more than the president. But he faces potential scrutiny at the International Criminal Court also. There are cases on ground, human rights abuse and all of that relating to the Israel-Gaza war. What message would a domestic pardon really send to international prosecutors or those who are thinking that he will be brought to book?
I like the word you used, domestic pardon. Don't forget that basically Jerusalem is still in Israel. Don't forget that annually, times of Easter, people go to Jerusalem. They go on pilgrimage. If, for instance, the international tourists, those going on pilgrimage, hold an opinion that Israel, Jerusalem, is now a terra cognita for societal ills, where they condone corruption, where, crimes against humanity, etc., are now being covered, it will not help them. So this is where, when people argue that foreign policy is an extension of domestic policy, any domestic policy that has the potential to seriously impact on the external image, on the perception of Israel internationally, I think it can, seriously damage the good image of Israel, if any, for now.
All right, let's talk about, the role of the United States. As always, I won't call it interfering in other countries' matters, but we've seen President Donald Trump openly calling for this domestic corruption case to be dropped. Should we see this as political interference, or perhaps part of some of the calculations or agreement that may have surrounded the recent Gaza peace proposals that we've seen in recent days?
You see, there is Israel in America, and there's America in Israel, and the two constitute two sides of the same coin. Everybody must expect that the US of Donald Trump will be asking for that type of pardoning, dropping it. Why? Because it will neither be in the good image, good interest of Israel, and it will never be in the interest of the United States. The United States has always been the major dynamic of the attitudinal disposition of Netanyahu in international relations. It is United States that aids and abets, sustain Israel to disregard international law. International law doesn't mean anything to Donald Trump, and it does not mean anything to Benjamin Netanyahu. It doesn't. When, for instance, you are talking about interference, it is more than interference. Interference is permissible in international relations. It is permissible in international law. What is not permissible, what is prohibited, is intervention.
Professor, the president of Israel really is under pressure to make a decision. Some are waiting out to see if he will grant a pardon in this case and what this will really mean for Israel. We wait out for this in the next few days, but that's a fine place to leave the conversation for now. Professor Bola Akinterinwa, Professor of International Relations, Achievers University Award. Thank you for talking to us on World Now.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being with you.